Well, you all know why you're here. May as well get this thing started. Ryan Keenan asks, can you watch this video? Oops, I guess I took too long. The channel has been terminated. Oh well. Suppose you get to remake one Fire Emblem game. Which one do you remake? Well, this is kind of a tough question because it's just one. I feel like doing any of 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, or 10 is kind of meaningless without attention to their prequel, sequel. I guess if I had to go by default, 4 stands to lose the least without 5. Maybe just stick it in a la Rondo of Blood and Dracula X Chronicles. Smash main? I don't really have a main per se. I like playing with a multitude of characters. But for Smash 4, my most used would probably be Mega Man, Pac-Man, and myself as a Zero-suited Mii Sword Fighter. ModelOmega ASMR when? What's ASMR? Hold on, let me look this up. Well, I've never experienced it myself, so I have no idea what to do. Is this working? Your opinion on memes? Keep on trucking. What's your NNID/Miitomo profile? I don't have one yet. Favorite sport? To watch? Hockey. To play? Magic the Gathering. Your opinions on what makes a well-balanced Fire Emblem? To grossly oversimplify, it has a Jigen instead of an Oife. If you were American, would you have voted for Jeb Bush? To try and halt Cruz or Trump? Yes. Because I actually agree with his policy? Fuck no. Opinions of the Fire Emblem community? It's like most communities. Lots of decent people, some great people, and then some rotten turds that spoil it for everyone. Any interest in Fire Emblem Cypher? Absolutely. I just need to have it in English. Would you have any interest in hosting a podcast? Ha, sure, but definitely not until I get to like 1,000 subs. But if anyone's interested, I'd love to guest. Do you know Ein Klein Nack Music on Reddit? I've seen him post a few times, but I don't really have any opinion. Favorite Mega Man game? 03. Favorite video game OST? Sanctuary Fortress from Prime 2. Games you wish people knew more about? Definitely the Metro series, and it's something I eventually want to make a video about to help solve that. Countries you think need reform? All. What majors and minors in school? Political science and history. Celise Light Calfee asks, what do you think of the Mega Man Battle Network and Star Force series? Have you played them? Well, I haven't played any, so I don't have any comment. I did remember watching a lot of the Battle Network anime, but that was a long time ago, so I don't really remember much about it. If you had to choose, which 2 Mega Man series would you like to see a new entry in? X and ZX, because they didn't have any proper conclusion. Plans for any more Mega Man videos? Your Inti Creates videos were very informative and interesting. Eventually, I hit a snag with recording Advent, where sprites would always show up as white rectangles. I haven't really been able to find a solution, and that was around when I started the 776 guide, and since then I kind of forgot about it. Sorry, it is something I really would like to finish though. With the direction Fire Emblem is going, would you rather have had the series die off the way it was, or continue to let it suffer? Fire Emblem is dead. Long live Fire Emblem. You are in charge of making a new Fire Emblem game in an already set world, Arcania, Telias, etc., etc. What is the setting and general premise? It's Udril. Decades have passed since the Holy Wars. You play as a custom character hailing from southern Thracia that is part of a civilian militia. The people there are growing unhappy with northern rule. The bureaucrats are abusing authority for personal gain, and neither the royalty nor nobility seem to care. You start out just defending your village from banditry, but when the noise of southern rebellion grows too hot to stay passive, you'll have to decide whether to have your group partake in the upheaval for the hope of a better future, or stick with the status quo in hope of reforming the system. My idea is that this would use a lot of roguelike elements. Aside from a small retinue of fixed units, the majority of who you get are either random enemies recruited a la Shin Megami Tensei Scouting, random townsfolk gradually recruited, random mercenaries hired, etc., etc. You have to manage your base in a way that you can provide arms, food, barracks for your force, and stuff like supports happen passively and somewhat randomly between any members of your army, in the Radiant Dawn sense of just being deployed together, fighting adjacently, and otherwise interacting. And there's no outside force manipulating everything. It's all personal here. It's just what I've concocted in my head and toyed around with in theory for a bit. Mangs asks, why does nobody use Trude? He's just nothing special. Nihil is relevant for like 2% of the game. He has no extraordinary stats or abilities that any other Myrmidon would be incapable of. He's like an unpromoted pre-promote in that regard. Cosmo Shidan asks, with the recent debacle involving Bill Nye and his inappropriate comments on philosophy, would it be best to go up to the science guy with a copy of Epicurus' writings so that he get the gist of what the field is all about? I get the idea, but I don't really think it's worth the effort. Should art be taken seriously in grade schools insofar as it contributes to problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, creativity, and hand-eye coordination? Absolutely. If you had to choose between super speed and super strength, which of these superpowers would it be? Well, if you take the physics of it into account, aren't they kind of the same thing? But probably super speed if we're talking more mystical in nature and not just the physical sense. What are your thoughts on Massimo Pilucci? I haven't heard of him, actually. Do you think that Zack Snyder and David Goyer should be fired from the Justice League movies and Bryan Singer be brought in? Yes to the first, no to the second. They should get fresh, bold, enthusiastic talent like Pete Travis or Vincenzo Natali. If the prequel to both The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, were made, wouldn't it be cool if the book's villain were the protagonist, especially as there is no heroic main character in the book itself? Sorry, but I have neither read nor seen any of the Lord of the Rings series. In your view, do you think automation creates new jobs just as it makes certain old jobs obsolete? Like if manual bricklayers were replaced by a robotic bricklayer and that new job created from the robot would be filling the robot with bricks by people and people acting as maintenance crews to the robots? Technically yes, but it's a net loss in the long run because you don't need nearly as many supervisors as machines. Do you follow any particular band or genre of music, or do you prefer individual songs? Definitely more the individual variety. What did you think of Linkara's and MovieBop's critiques of the superhero film Batman v Superman? Well done. Is Deadpool better than Batman v Superman? Yes. Have you read Batman and Philosophy yet? No. If you have not read Batman and Philosophy, would you take the above question as a recommendation? Sure. Lastly, with Neil deGrasse Tyson's anti-philosophy comments, defense of Scientology, the Bush administration's science record, and his Twitter comments on Donald Trump, is there any way he can redeem himself, or is he now a complete irredeemable hack? Hack is probably too far. Same with the irredeemable, but I can't see him character-wise ever attempting to recover from this. He seems more like the person that would just double down. Sig asks, Mr. Omega, what formats do you like to play in Magic the Gathering, and why? Currently, I'm playing almost exclusively Commander. It's very laid back, it's casual, deck building is a ton of fun in it. I never imagined that just being restricted to one card opens up so many possibilities and so many avenues to explore. I really love the whole, kind of deck master, general-ish concept. It really kind of brings a unity to your deck. I mean, one of the things that I kind of iffy about most Magic decks is that there's not a lot of theme to things. Like, a deck like Jund has no appeal to me. It's just good cards thrown together with, like, no cohesion. I mean, yeah, it's a good deck, but, like, there's nothing really special about it, to me. As for the other formats, I did play Standard a bit, but when Khan's Origins BFC came in, I played that for a bit, and my god, that was a terrible Standard, so I abandoned that really quickly. But with Shadows of Rinishad in and Khan's out, I've built together a blue-black zombie deck, kind of really budget thing that I'm having a bit of fun with. I also have some modern decks that I play with a bit, but the problem is, of the two stores I go to in Victoria, each of them have their Commander night on the other's Modern night, so if I want to play Modern, I have to not play my favorite format. So anyway, yeah, I'm basically just Commander with a little bit of Standard, and like once a month I'll go play Modern or something. What Commander decks do you use if you play Commander? Currently, I have an Azuri, Alesha, and Kozilek Commander deck, with plans to eventually make a Zedru Commander deck. Also, what do you think of the new set that's out right now? It's pretty cool, but it's a bit early for a big analysis. Lord of Fighting Loto asks, what are your thoughts on Dragon Quest? Haven't played any, so no comment. What's your favorite Pokemon? Flygon! Favorite Magman character? Zero. What Fire Emblem class would you be? Probably some sort of mage, and anima likely. Zero Ace asks, on a scale of Roy to Hector, how would you rate Kamui as a unit? Not a meta expert, but probably close to Hector. However, Revelations Corrin is closer to Sigurd in my opinion, though not by his own accord. Well, that's it for all the questions I've got. Thank you for submitting, thank you for listening, and I hope you'll have a great day. Thanks again for all of the support that you've given in helping me to achieve 100,000 views. Here's going up to 500 subs and beyond. It's been ModelOmega, and once again, have a great night.